Welcome to Blind Cafe's Naked DJs podcast, where every day we expose ourselves to the very best music. Some days we like to shake it up, some days we let it all hang out, and others we just like to stick it out there for you to listen to.
Good evening, Blind Cafe radio listeners. Welcome to another edition of the Naked DJs podcast. Your host tonight, Dr. Johnny Love. Around the horn we have Lightning Blind Mike, Foxy Lady J, and rounding it out, his mama calls him son because he's so smart, DJ Tom. How you all doing tonight?
You forgot to mention that my hair is perfect.
I would like to make an objection. You know, it's one thing being naked in the summer, it's another in the winter.
Sound like you're a little cold, Julie.
It's only the fall here, so, don't worry about it. And cold, yeah, we don't have a furnace that works right now, so we're chilled.
So you're chilling like a villain, right?
Hey, I like that, yes. All righty, I think we've got at least
Well, he is in the mafia.
That's just a rumor. Let's not spread any unsubstantiated rumors. All righty, we've got at least a couple of good topics we can talk about tonight, maybe three. But the first topic we're going to kick off with is the concert that Travis Scott gave and the ramifications of what happened to it. As you all know, Travis Scott gave a concert. Let me find it was at the Astroworld. And there seemed to have been a crush of people rushing the stage or whatever. I believe right now the death count is up to 10. And even now the FBI wants to jump on in and join the probe. So what do you guys think about this?
I hear there's 125 people that are suing for at least $750 million.
Each?
Yes.
Yeah, that's $750 million for each person suing. And evidently there was a lack of security. That's what created the problem. They didn't have any type of crowd control.
Well,
yeah, that's the most important to have at anything.
Absolutely. Now, Julie and I covered this on Talking Points here on the Blind Cafe radio station when it first happened, and Julie basically told me about it. We had to read about it. But the first thing that I was told is that a security guard got jabbed in the side of the neck with a needle that had drugs in it to knock him out. And so they were taking down security guards. It almost sounded like there was just going to be a violent mob there no matter what. But Travis Scott, I think that's what you said. Travis Scott took he kept singing. Even when the crowd started rushing the stage, he kept trying to get them to come up to the stage. He was inciting the violence. And to me, wouldn't that be sort of like, I want to stay out of the politics tremendously, but, with him inciting the violence and trying to hurt people, that would just make him danger in society. I was going to say a terrorist, but I wasn't going to go there.
Well, if he was calling people up to the stage as they were rushing and not saying, hey, calm down, I look at it, he was part of the problem, if not the problem itself. That's just my opinion, though.
I think so, because he's done this twice before, and I think he was arrested once before for doing the same thing. And I'm just very surprised that this place allowed him to do it there, knowing his background and what he does. This is exactly what he does. He incites them to come to the front of the stage, and that's really dangerous. And security had a meeting before he went on stage, and they said that they didn't have enough security to cover a crowd. I think there was 50,000 people there, and they didn't want to do this.
I think they should have pushed maybe to cancel the concert that night until they could have got more security. Now, it wouldn't have happened probably because they probably would have made the show go on, but still, security should have kind of fought a little harder and said, hey, no, we're not going to do this until we get more people.
What were you going to say, Tom?
Yeah, the whole thing was just totally out of control, and it's kind of reminds me of the old Who concert in Cincinnati. Same kind of deal.
So basically they rushed the stage in Cincinnati as well?
They rushed the gate to get into the concert long before they got to the stage. And that's where the fatalities occurred in this incident.
I remember that, but it made me think of the Stones when they played Altamont and one person got killed there when the Hells Angels was supposedly doing security for him and stuff.
Now, I know I was reading on this Travis Scott thing too. It said that stocks are down for the Astroworld. Are they going to go back up? Well, I guess if you're a business person and doing that type of thing, you're probably worried about that. But wouldn't you be worried more about your reputation or making sure people were safe or making sure this guy never does another concert again? Now, I can say this in a positive note, and Julie, you're going to have to help me with this. There was another rapper there that did not like what happened, and all the money he made from the concert, he donated back to helping all the victims.
All right, now that's pretty cool on this part. I don't know the name of the other rapper, but that sounds pretty cool, though. I like that. And I myself, I would think if you're more worried about your stocks and profits as people's health and well-being, then you don't need to have a license as a promoter then. I'm sorry, you need to get out of the business altogether.
What was sad is there was a person up on a pole screaming Travis to stop singing, and they said there are people dying, and he still continued to sing.
And that's why I thought he should be like a domestic terrorist, because he's inciting that violence. I mean, and that's one thing it's not supposed to happen, is inciting violence, but that's another whole story on another whole different level. But I just don't think he should be doing any more concerts whatsoever. I think his singing career should be over.
By the time the legal system gets done with him, he's toast. Anyway.
I think so.
Yeah, I have to admit, 8 people dead. Yep.
He went overboard.
I think it's 10 now. Oh yeah, he did go overboard.
That's
he
just
pushed it too far this time, and it's sad because it makes you not want to go to a concert.
Indeed, that's what I'm thinking. So I don't want to go to any venues anytime soon.
Well, no, that's just I know we all agree on this, that, rap isn't our thing. And yes, it is other people saying we can't sit here and knock it, but it's just not my thing. And I would never go to a concert like that anyway, because of the quality of the crowd. I'll put it that way.
It's not just that, Michael. Jason Aldean isn't a rapper. And, I forget how many it was that got shot now. I think it was 50 people that got shot in Las Vegas. It's not just rappers. It's anywhere where there's a big crowd anymore.
Yeah, but he didn't incite that violence. That was a whole different story.
Yeah, that was a nut job.
That was a guy taking pot shots from across the street from the venue up in a hotel room. It's a whole different real.
But I see where Julie's coming from, though. It's just not safe going to a concert because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not safe going anywhere where there's big crowds anymore, because if it's not somebody shooting at them, it's the person inciting it. There could be a terrorist attack. It's getting dangerous to be anywhere where there's big crowds.
Well, I want to go to a couple concerts over this, 2022 here. And if I don't return after them, then you know what happened.
And this is why we can't have nice things, people.
Exactly.
I mean, who doesn't love a nice concert? I mean, I'd love to go to a good concert. Actually, you know what? Anywhere's. I'd like to go to a football game, even a wrestling match and stuff like that. But hey, anything can happen at any of them.
Ooh, you mentioned football. Is that what our next subject is?
I went to Garth Brooks concert. It was out of this world. He was fabulous. And Hank Williams Jr., that was a terrific concert too. But I just don't know if you can have that anymore these days because there are people out there like Travis Scott that want to incite violence.
I know Garth Brooks does put on a good concert, but yeah, he's not going to incite the crowd. Travis Scott, I have to admit, I've never heard any of his music, so
I
I
haven't
don't
either.
I don't know what he sounds like. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I don't hate all rap. I mean, I it's got to be old school stuff. Pretty sure if we got MJ tickets to see Eminem, he'd go check it out.
For the record, I hate all rap. Period.
For the record, I hate all rap too. That makes two of us, Tom.
But I'm with Johnny. The old school stuff can be pretty decent, but the new stuff here with the foul language and the criminal violence inside the rapping, the cursing, everything else, that's not rapping. That's just you blowing off some steam and trying to make a statement, and that's not what it's all about. Because isn't rapping sort of like rhyming, isn't it? It was just a rhyme, and then they turned it into rapping, and that's how it all got started, I think.
Well, I always looked at rap as adding music to poetry. Basically, yeah. That's because you'd have guys trying to do one another and stuff, and they'd start putting out songs, and it was all pretty good. I mean, Run DMC had it going and stuff. Sugar Hill Gang. That was the stuff back in the day, but now, nah, they couldn't survive.
I didn't like any of that. So anyway, moving on.
But I digress. All righty. Anything else to add to the Travis Scott tragedy here? Other than bye bye, Mr. Scott?
Bye-bye, Mr. Scott.
Bye-bye, Scott.
Bye-bye, Scott.
Okay, now the next one is pretty interesting because I actually saw this on Twitter because I follow the man on Twitter. I've always liked him. Travis Tritt says he won't perform at any arena or venue that basically mandates you have to wear a mask or be vaccinated or show your card that you're vaccinated. He's not going to play at any places, and I believe Indiana, Mississippi, Illinois, and Kentucky are just like four of the places that he's not going to play at because they want to do that. What do you guys think about that? Is he right? Is he wrong? Or, what do you guys think?
Really depends on how much politics you want to bring into this, but
I want to keep out as much politics as possible.
But I would have to say that you're going to have your people that get vaccinated, people that don't, people that wear masks, people that don't want to wear masks. It's always going to be, that's going to be the new norm now. And nothing's going to go back to the way it was 2 years ago. And it's just, in my opinion, it's just like having the flu. It's more deadlier than the flu. I agree. But, you got to have your shot each year, that type of thing. You go do your thing. But mandating masks and things like that, personally, I disagree.
I think common sense should prevail, but then again, people don't have that anymore. So having the government control your destiny, no thanks. That reeks of socialism. And
Absolutely.
I agree with this artist totally.
Travis Tritt.
Julie, what do you think?
I agree with Tom. This is, it's freedom here. That's why America has always been so great. And people should not be told by the government what's in their bodies. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I did have my shot, but I have a huge blood clot on the inside of my arm now. And I'm very worried because I fall in the diabetic category. And they're saying we're going to need a booster shot every year, but there's no way that I'm going to have one of them and risk another blood clot. So I agree with Travis. If somebody doesn't want to do it, they shouldn't be forced to.
My take on it is, if you don't want to get the shot, that's cool. Don't get the shot. You don't want to wear a mask? Hey, by all means, don't wear the mask. You know, you don't want to show your card? Hey, that's up to you. I mean, like Tom said, though, people should use common sense. I mean, I've seen like the football on TV. I've seen people in the stadiums, which are packed. Some are wearing masks. Some aren't wearing masks. All right, hey, you know, that's cool. But I look at it like, who's going to end up losing here is the fans are going to lose out in general, really, in my opinion.
Well, it's funny you mentioned football because you're right. Some were wearing masks, some weren't. And if you notice, everybody got along because nobody was fighting with each other. Nobody was saying, oh, you got to wear a mask. And everybody was having a good time. People respected each other who wore a mask and who did not.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's the first thing that caught my eye, too, which made me happy. I like that. From what I read, Travis Tritt has not informed the places that he was supposed to be playing at of this decision not to play yet. He hasn't informed them yet. Hopefully he did.
Well, it's on the article, so they have to be reading about it.
I would say that he did inform them based on the fact that there's an article out there by him in the first place. So he has already taken his stand. It's up to them to do what they need to do, and that would be do the right thing.
Now
Let government take their hands off of this issue.
I agree. And again, it becomes a choice. You either go to his concert or you don't.
Hey, trust me, I would love to see Travis Tritt in concert. I don't care, you know, if I have to wear a mask, cool. If I don't have to, cool. I don't care. I'm going.
I have to agree. I like Travis Tritt.
Here's a quarter.
Call someone who cares. He don't play that live anymore.
He doesn't play that song live anymore?
Nope, because
No, people were throwing coins at him and the band.
I remember that.
They were getting hurt.
Yeah. If you've never had the pleasure of being hit with a quarter, you haven't lived, okay? I've been hit with a quarter.
Could you imagine, though, being hit by quarters from everybody out in the crowd? 50,000 people out there, 50,000 quarters hitting you? You could be rich in one night just from that song.
Yeah, if you survived it.
Exactly.
It's like getting a miniature stoning.
Exactly. That's just what I was thinking, too. I mean, like I said, I don't think Travis Tritt is hurting for money, so I think he can, you know, he's making a stand, okay? He's standing for something he believes in. I respect that. You know, I really do. Hey. But, you know, like if you turn on the other way, people are going to complain about, oh, well, this venue's saying we got to do this. You know, hey, it's their business. They want to do it, they can do it. But, you know, everyone's going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, and you really can't go any further than that without getting into politics. But what I will say, though, is that there is another country artist out there, Jason Aldean, and Julie could go into this a little bit more than I can. But actually, you know what? I'll let her tell the story because she read about it before I did.
They're trying to take Jason Aldean down. A couple of months ago, his wife and kids were wearing anti-Biden T-shirts, and they came after him, and he said, my wife and my children can wear what they want. They're not going to be told what to wear. And so now I guess the wokeness people trying to stop his concerts. And he said, you can do what you want. He said, there's enough people that believe in me and believe in God and our country that if they want to come to the concert, they'll come.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I seen that article about that, and Jason Aldean is totally in his right to feel like that, because that's the way I would feel.
Again, reeks of socialism. You believe the way we tell you to believe, and you march to our drum or nobody else's, and that's called Russia, folks.
But yes, if you have kids and a wife or a husband, whatever the situation may be, and you went against your kid's wife and husband, I don't think you'd be married or have your kids any longer. You're supposed to be there and support your family. And that's exactly what he did. And that's what's really cool about it. He did not back down from them whatsoever.
It brings to mind a song. God is good, beer is great, and people are crazy.
Yes, yes, they are, and yes, it is. I'm trying to think of some. No, basically, family should be off limits. I mean, it's like in the mafia. Basically, the family, regular family, is off limits. It can't be. They don't get touched or nothing, supposedly.
So we're going to talk about the mafia now?
But
No.
it's like Jason Aldean and his wife. They're very good people. They have a store where they give free food away to the homeless. And, just because they're wearing a T-shirt that somebody doesn't like, that's crazy. All the good they do, and these people want to bring them down.
I agree. It needs to stop. So when does it stop? Where does it stop? I mean, you should be allowed to wear whatever you want to wear. You okay? You don't like the Biden T-shirt? The anti-Biden T-shirt, cool. Go make a pro-Biden T-shirt. Wear that. Whatever makes you happy.
And I'm going to be Tom here for a second. America got the taste of freedom back in 2020, and they loved the way the country was being run. And the problem started there because the people that didn't like the way it was being run were starting riots and everything else. And now the COVID, the vaccine's up here. People are still rioting. People are shooting each other. This is the only thing I'm going to say because I don't want to get into politics, but you need a leader that can actually lead you. And that's not what's happening right now.
Amen.
Running in 2024 for the president of the United States is lightning blind Mike.
Not
Tominator is going to be his vice president.
But Julie is the press secretary.
I'll vote for that. No way. I'll vote for that ticket.
If I'm running for the presidency, she'll be my press secretary.
I wouldn't want that job for all the tea in China. First of all, I couldn't stand up there and lie.
All right.
I think we better
move along.
Yeah, I think it's time for a commercial break. So we'll be right back with more fun and interesting subjects after these messages.
Do you have dreams that you want to achieve but are scared to do so due to self-doubt, fear, and other people's criticism? I have just what you need. You need a dose of the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, where I interview guests that will motivate and inspire you to stop at nothing to achieve your dreams. And always remember, if you believe, you can achieve.
The Living the Dream with Curveball podcast is available on your favorite podcast app.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Blind Cafe Radio's Naked DJs podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Johnny Love. Around the table, we have Lightning Blind Mike, Foxy Lady J, and DJ Tom. Alrighty, we've had two pretty interesting topics so far. How about we try for the trifecta, which is the Super Bowl halftime show coming up next year. Let's find out who's going to be on that one. From what I've understood,
it's not Travis Scott.
No, from what I believe it is, I think Eminem, Snoop Dogg, LBM. Help me out here, will you?
Dre. Oh, I can't think of her name now.
All rappers, Cardi B, maybe?
No, she was the 90s singer. The one that has all those wonderful Christmas songs.
Here we go. It is Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. I believe it's Mary J. Blige and Lamar. I'm trying to think who the Lamar is.
To answer your question, Julie, all rappers.
I will be
Mary
definitely.
J. Blige isn't a
She's not a
rapper,
rapper, but I think for the most part, I will be getting snacks during the halftime show.
yes, I think me too.
I have no interest in seeing it.
Who else is going to be there, Johnny? I mean, they are taking the stage as in, because there was wonderful people there like Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Madonna, and a whole bunch more that did the halftime show. But go ahead, Johnny, before I make my opinion.
Yeah, basically trying to think if it's Kendrick Lamar, I believe, is the other one. So basically you're going to have Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar for the halftime show. I'll let you know my opinion right now. I won't be watching the halftime show. I didn't even watch it last year when the Weeknd was on there because I wasn't impressed.
I have to agree. And two reasons why I wouldn't watch it. Okay, three reasons. A, they're probably going to rap like crazy, and I don't get into that. B, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and all them went from gangster to rapping gangster. They formed the NWA, which is, I think you guys can figure that, something with attitudes. And I just don't agree with all that. And now they're going to be, and yeah, I guess Dr. Dre's like a 7-time Grammy winner, but I just don't agree. I just don't agree with that music. And also my third thing is that, are they putting them all up on stage because of this whole woke thing? Because, they're all African-American. Is this the reason behind it? Do they deserve to be up on stage during a big Super Bowl event like that? Personally, they could, but I just don't see it. I think it's all political on this one.
Good point, MJ. I see a liberal political statement being made here.
And I've always said it, if you've earned it and go up there, it don't matter what color you are or whatever, great. But if you're throwing somebody out there just to try to prove a point, and to me, it's just not right. So I'll keep the politics out of it, but I disagree with the halftime that's going to happen. And I'm with Tom. I'll be getting snacks or whatever during halftime.
I mean, the last good halftime show I believe I saw was, I think, the Rolling Stones when they did that. That's about it.
I saw the Janet Jackson. I think everybody saw Janet Jackson that night. But Michael Jackson, the Madonna one I wasn't impressed with. Coldplay was there. I'm trying to think of some older Super Bowl ones from back in the day, the 80s and 90s and all that.
I don't think they, well, yeah, I mean, they might have had a halftime show, but I don't think they had, the
Singers back then?
Yeah, the singers that they have now and stuff.
It's a shame because the halftime on a football game is the best part of the football game. So I guess I won't be watching it all. It was bad enough with the Weeknd last year, and he paid $1 million out of his own money to put that show on. And what is happening to our football games?
NFL went political as well. It's all about political, and we're trying to keep it from being political. Go ahead, Tom.
That's it. You're right.
I used to tune in to the Super Bowl just to see the halftime show. Maybe if the football game was going to be good, I'd watch it. But it's not the Super Bowl anymore. It's not even a halftime show anymore. So it's.
The only reason I watched the Super Bowl at all last year is because.
But the good news is that we do have some good news on this level, that blindcafe.net will be hosting the Super Bowl. Well, not hosting it, but we'll be playing it on blindcafe.net that day for the people that do want to watch the halftime and watch the game. So, we got it. We can't dismiss the people that do like to watch it. So it will be on blindcafe.net that day.
Will there be video description?
you'll have the radio announcers. And what it is, usually we go with the radio announcers and not the TV announcers, because the radio announcers will do the play-by-play basically like they always do. The TV announcers do not.
Yeah, but I think Tom's asking, will we have like play-by-play for the halftime show, you know?
We'll
Well,
be
that would
getting
be up to-
snacks about that time. The
Or
beer,
Julie could have Rick
and-
do it.
the beer and dogs are going to be on Michael. So that should
Oh,
be fun.
right.
Wait a minute. If they're on me, then I'm going to be all wet and yucky.
And your point?
Yeah. And your point?
Well, my opinion is that, yes, I just don't. I think it might turn out to be a great Super Bowl. There's a lot of different ways we could go with this whole subject, as in, you know, what's it going to cost everybody to go to this Super Bowl in California, blah, 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 and the whole 9 yards. But I'll just leave it as in not impressed with the lineup.
I'm definitely not impressed with the lineup. And I mean, I do like some of Eminem's stuff too. So, and Snoop Dogg, but I'm just, like you just said, I'm just not impressed.
You know, I just got a feeling this is a disaster waiting to happen, just like everything else these days. You know, maybe if you had one rapper along with a lot of different stars, but to have all of these rappers together. I read yesterday there was another rapper that was in a bakery buying cookies and somebody shot him.
It's not good to be a rapper anymore.
I know where Julie's headed with this, and we're not profiling, that's for sure. But if you have someone like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, the gangster people, gangster rap and everything, you're going to have all the gangs and stuff showing up from California to the ball stadium, and there will be some thugs there, and there will be some normal fans there, and I see a big disaster getting ready to happen when gang collides at a football game.
That is a scary thing, because I do know the two gangs out there are the Bloods and the Crips.
M13s or something too, don't we?
MS-13. MS-13, yep.
Give me the good old days when the mafia was in town.
Maybe we should bring them back just for you, Johnny.
Hey, why not? You know, I could do that.
They can't be any worse.
Yeah, I think we've all formed a consensus here. We won't be watching.
Anyway, I think that, let's see, it's about 20 to the top of the hour. I think we can knock it off out of here. So basically, we all can agree that we're not going to be watching the halftime show. I mean, hey, you want to watch it? Cool. You don't want to watch it? Cool. I won't watch it. LBM, how about you?
I won't be watching it, but I won't be mean to people that do want to watch it. You know, it's a matter of taste, and that's just not my taste. But, you know, if people want to watch it, then that's up to them.
Personally, I'm freezing, so I'm going to go put some clothes on.
Really? We're not done yet. Sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
It's not fun being a naked DJ in the fall or the winter.
Anyway, okay, so we all know we're not going to watch the halftime show. And basically, what do we agree with Travis Tritt and his thing that he's not going to play at any venues that the back, stuff like that.
Go Travis, right on.
Go,
I agree with Travis.
I agree. You know, hey, he can do that. And if you want to go see him, fine. You don't want to wear a mask? Hey, cool. Have fun. That's all there is to it. And last but not least, the Travis Scott one. Mr. Scott, never listened to your music. I have no desire to, but might say goodbye to your career.
I totally agree with that one, and I hope you repent for the lives that you took a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah. I also have to say that, yeah, his career's over. He should go to prison, and I think that no one should hear from him again.
Agreed. Travis Scott He's done.
Yeah, after you're being sued for $750 million by each person, yeah, you better be filing some bankruptcy there.
All right. And for all you listeners out there, if you want to make a comment for us, just make sure you guys send us a message right there on YouTube, and right there in the window, and Johnny will reply to you. We'll let Johnny do all the replying.
I was going to let Tom do all the replying.
You don't want me doing it.
That's true. But no, seriously, for all you listeners out there, hey, please leave us a message and let us know what you guys think about these three subjects. That would be awesome, and we really would appreciate it. And I'll let Johnny go ahead and do his thing.
All righty. Thank you for listening. Remember, we'll be back in about a month with a final podcast for 2021. Happy Thanksgiving in advance, because a week from today is Gobble Gobble Day. All right. Who doesn't like some turkey and stuffing? All right. I'm Dr. Johnny Love, and for Lightning Blind Mike, Foxy Lady J, and DJ Tom, remember, we are the Naked DJs. We stick it out for the whole world to see when it comes to music and all other things. Have a good night.
Go and check out Blind Cafe Radio at blindcaferadio.com, and also follow us on Twitter at Blind Cafe Radio and on Facebook at Blind Cafe Radio. Make sure you visit our webpage at blindcaferadio.com, where you can visit our naked DJ. And this is the Blind Cafe Kangaroo, signing off.